start off by doing is obviously dip my brush into the eyeliner. I like using a really small, precise brush for this, but you can use whatever brush works best for you. And I dip it back and forth until the edge of it is pretty flat. I know it's hard for you guys to see, I don't know why I'm showing you. First, I just create a line following really close to my lash line. When I do it at the start of the eye, I do it very thin, and I hardly ever go back and adjust that. But when you get towards the middle to the end of the eye, it doesn't really matter if it's a little thick, because I am going to go back over that when I create the actual wing. But just make sure when you're starting in the front of the eye, if you're doing it this way, you do it very carefully, because that part is harder to fix and it doesn't look that flattering if it's thick. And I usually start right above my iris. So I zoomed it in a little bit more so you guys can see it, but now I'm going to start on this part of the eye. So this is essentially the easy part. The next part is obviously making your wing, which a lot of people struggle with. I still do. I think practice makes perfect. So what I'm going to do with a little bit more product on my brush is when you open your eye and it kind of like has that crease where the top lid and the bottom lid meet, like this little tiny corner, that's what I'm going to use as my guideline. So I open it kind of wide and I put it sort of in to that crease. And then I flick out just a tiny little line. So that's where I start. So I'm taking a little bit more product on my brush. You want to make sure your brush isn't flimsy for this part and that you have a decent amount of product so it's not dragging, especially if you have any wrinkles right there. I wouldn't suggest pulling your skin for this part, because that can make your wing longer than you actually want it to be. And when I do this part, I do it a little bit shorter and then I end up making it a little bit longer. So before I make the wing, I just look at the one that I previously made on this eye, and then I try to even them out. So that's what I start by doing, and I don't make it any longer than that, because when I go back and add some, I'm going to end up flicking the wing out a little bit more. But then what I like to do is, with whatever's left on my brush, do a straight line and connect it to that. And then I picked up a little bit more eyeliner and I'm just going to fill this triangle in. So then I have a little bit more eyeliner on my brush, and I'm just going to... I did mess up a tiny bit, but honestly it's so small you can barely see it, so I'm just going to leave it for the purpose of the video, just to kind of show you guys. So honestly you're done at this point, but I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I like to do also. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more eyeliner, and when you have a cat eye or any kind of winged eyeliner, I really like to make sure that my tight line, which is this little water line on the top of my eyelid, is fully black. I just don't like to see little gaps in between my lashes, my natural lashes or my false lashes. So what I kind of do is, it takes a little bit to get used to this because my eyes are super sensitive anyway. So if they get red or watery, that's why. But I basically just stick this into my lashes and rub it back and forth. If you have black eyelashes, you probably don't need to do this at all, but because I'm blonde, I'm cursed with invisible eyelashes, so that is why I do this. But I don't think you would need to do this if you have black eyelashes. I don't know if you guys can even tell or see a difference, but it's completely solid black. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see any other videos or if you have any video requests. My voice just got really raspy for a second. I do plan on doing a fall makeup look. I have one in mind and it's really glam. So all of the details for this video is going to be listed down below as well if I didn't mention something, or all of the makeup that I'm wearing that I did off camera. I'll list that down below if you have any questions. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video.